The voice of command, unleashing your leadership presence. The very cadence of your voice proclaims your trajectory in life. While the majority speak merely to be heard, leaders speak to be followed. This isn't about mere intellect. It's about unwavering conviction. It's about radiating calm, resolute confidence, possessing an unshakable clarity of purpose, and ensuring your words unequivocally embody your highest standards. The undeniable truth is this: if your voice lacks inherent strength, your message will be dismissed. You don't need to bellow. You don't need to perform. You need to speak with undeniable purpose. In this transformative journey, you will master the art of speaking like a true leader. This entails articulating with absolute clarity, posing the incisive questions, and discerning with precision when to hold your counsel and when to unleash your decisive declaration. You will learn to command your speech with unflinching direction, disciplined precision, and a magnetic presence that instantly compels respect. If you are ready to transcend the mundane echoes of others and command attention with your voice, your transformation. Chapter 1. Sculpting absolute clarity. Obscurity is the enemy of influence. If your words are chaotic, people will stray. If your message is fragmented, your authority will be discounted. And if you fail to hold your own voice in high regard, the world will mirror that dismissal. You simply cannot lead if your pronouncements lack gravitas. You must articulate in a manner that captures unwavering attention, not through intimidation, but through profound respect. This respect is forged when you speak with absolute clarity, and clarity itself is born from rigorous, foundational thought. Leadership unequivocally commences with clarity. When your thoughts are pristine and unblemished, your voice transforms into an unyielding force. Yet, most individuals neglect this vital training. They fail to slow down, to reflect, to ask themselves, what definitive message am I truly delivering? They speak to merely occupy space. They articulate without a trace of purposeful intent. They perpetually chase validation. But a true leader speaks because they possess something substantial, something real, to contribute. A leader never speaks merely to appease. They speak because their words possess inherent, undeniable value. So, how do you speak with such unequivocal clarity that your resolve becomes undeniable? You deliberately slow down. You refuse to rush your pronouncements. You do not speak merely to sustain a conversation. You pause. You reflect. You strategize. You cultivate the uncompromising habit of eliminating all extraneous noise. You ruthlessly excise weak phrases like, I think, or maybe. Because if you emanate uncertainty, those around you will undoubtedly reflect it. If you cannot articulate directly, do not expect allegiance. The moment you enter any space, your voice becomes the herald of your intellect. It instantly reveals the precision of your thought. Therefore, speak with unshakable certainty. Speak with strategic order. Speak with compelling power. And never conflate sheer volume with true clarity. Loudness does not equate to meaning. Clarity is the embodiment of quiet strength. Clarity is a force that requires no shouts. You must meticulously train yourself to speak as if every single word holds monumental weight, because it does. The perfectly chosen sentence, delivered at the opportune moment, possesses the capacity to redefine a life. But if your profound words are entered beneath a cacophony of noise, their true message will forever remain unheard. If your aspiration is to speak as a leader, then commence by eradicating the superfluous in your speech. Banish filler words. Cease uttering phrases simply to fill empty air. Most individuals are profoundly uncomfortable with silence. A leader is not. A leader wields silence as a formidable tool. You are not compelled to speak constantly. You are compelled to speak at the precise moment, with the exact tone and with the potent words that are required. Practice articulating your exact meaning. If something is amiss, declare it. If a correction is demanded, speak up. Do not dance around the truth. Do not engage in verbal circumlocution. Be unflinchingly direct. That is the foundation of respect. That is what commands attention. Understand this. People instinctively discern your conviction. They feel it. It transcends mere words. It is the unseen energy pulsating behind your pronouncements. If your voice wavers, if your message carries uncertainty, then those you seek to guide will hesitate. They will falter. But when you speak from a place of unyielding belief, people listen. They absorb. You do not need grandiloquent words. You need authentic words. You need to speak in a manner that radiates profound honesty. That is how you forge trust. That is how people recognize your serious intent. They perceive the inherent strength in your clarity. They discern the unwavering discipline in your tone. And never overlook your physical presence. Your body, speaks volumes. The way you sit, the way you stand, the way you meet another's gaze with unwavering eye contact when you speak, all these are integral components of your message. Your voice is not merely your mouth. It is your posture, your expression, your commanding presence. Leadership is not solely about dictating actions. It is about instilling profound belief. And your unyielding clarity is the very catalyst for that belief. When your words are clear, people feel secure. They feel grounded. They instinctively declare, this individual knows precisely their destination, and they are worthy of being followed. But this allegiance must be earned. You must sharpen your speech into a formidable instrument. This demands daily, relentless practice. Do not defer to the grand stage. Practice in your home. Practice in your workplace. Articulate with clarity in every single room you enter. You do not activate this standard only when the spotlight shines. You embody this standard every single day. And here is the undeniable truth. If you fail to respect your own voice, why would anyone else? If you mumble through your thoughts, people will dismiss them. But when you speak, as if your words hold true significance, people will lean in. They will absorb. That is the unleashable power of clarity. That is how you command as a leader. The majority are casual with their speech, careless in their expression. This casual approach exacts a devastating toll on their influence, their capacity for leadership. If you aspire to mobilize people, if you seek to lead through the power of your voice, you must become profoundly intentional. Every single sentence must serve a definitive purpose. Do not speak in circles. Do not dilute your message. And never speak merely to evade discomfort. Leaders confront the challenging conversations. They articulate what others shrink from, and they do so with unwavering respect, devoid of arrogance. They speak in a manner that illuminates, never inflames. If your message remains ambiguous, people will not linger to decipher it. They will advance without you. That is the reality of our era. Rapid, fragmented, consumed by incessant noise. Therefore, when you speak with absolute clarity, you stand apart. You become a rare, resonant voice, and rare voices are undeniably heard. Refine your message. Master your tone. Perfect your timing. And, above all, believe with every fiber of your being in what you utter. Because your words possess formidable weight when you have earned the right to proclaim them. That is the true sound of leadership. Not noise, not confusion, not empty hype, but clarity, strength, and unassailable truth. You do not need to be flawless. You need to be authentic. You need to be clear. That is what instills trust. That is what compels allegiance. So, remember this profound truth. Every single time you speak, you are either forging trust or eroding it. You are either elevating the atmosphere or diminishing its energy. Choose your words as if your very existence depends on them, because in essence, it does. Speak as if your life hinges on every syllable. Speak so powerfully that people are compelled to pause and declare, "This individual possesses unequivocal mastery of their subject." That is how you command as a leader. You speak with such profound clarity that your intent is undeniable. And once this habit is ingrained, you will need to say very little to achieve monumental impact. People will heed your call the very instant you open your mouth. Chapter 2. The Arsenal of Potent Words. If you demand to be taken seriously, your words must mirror the power of your convictions. Should your thoughts be robust, but your articulation feeble, people will fail to grasp your unyielding conviction. They will distrust your leadership. They will disregard your direction. This isn't a lack of respect for you. It's a failure of your words to convey the formidable force of your beliefs. The undeniable truth is that people respond to pure energy, and that energy is transferred to the precise language you deploy. Every sentence you utter either fortifies your presence or irrevocably erodes it. Every word you select is either a resounding declaration of strength or a silent apology for it. When your mindset is razor-sharp, profoundly focused, and audaciously bold, your language must unequivocally reflect that potency. Yet, for most, this remains an elusive reality. They speak with pervasive hesitation, even when their certainty is absolute. They soften their profound thoughts, driven by an apprehension of appearing due intents. They deliberately lower their vocal register to appear more amiable, and in this subtle act, they systematically strip all inherent power from their voice. A formidable mindset is rendered meaningless if your words fail to articulate it. You must evolve into an individual whose words possess an unyielding backbone. When you speak, do not merely utter pleasantries. Articulate what holds profound meaning. Declare what carries immense weight, what conveys deliberate intention. People instinctively discern when your words are sculpted by unblemished clarity and unshakable confidence. They feel it. You don't need to be vociferous. You don't need to speak excessively. You need to speak with unparalleled precision and impact. Employ words that stand tall, that radiate your profound belief in what you proclaim. You will observe that true influencers are meticulous with every single sentence. They do not ramble. They do not grope for the right phrase. They already embody their convictions, so they speak with absolute, unyielding clarity. You perceive this in their very voice. They do not saturate their speech with empty expressions. They do not insert phrases that undermine their declarations. They speak like individuals who have earned the undeniable right to be heard. If you aspire to cultivate such formidable influence, you must scrupulously examine your own language. Pay acute attention to the words you routinely deploy in your conversations, your correspondence, your meetings, even in your own reflection. Are they unambiguous? Are they direct? Or are they shrouded in the mists of uncertainty? Do you punctuate your speech with phrases like, "I guess," "I think," "kind of," "maybe"? These words do not emanate from strength. They spring from doubt. And if you persist in speaking with doubt, you are training your mind to exist in perpetual hesitation. Leadership is the unwavering act of establishing clarity. When your words are weak, people feel lost in your presence. They are uncertain of your stance. They cannot anticipate your actions, so they recoil. But when your words are razor-sharp, profoundly strong, and steadfast, people are drawn toward you. They are compelled to listen. They are compelled to follow, for they can perceive the absolute certainty pulsating behind your every word. The inherent strength of your voice originates from the fortitude of your thought. You cannot speak as a leader if your mind is cluttered with scattered thoughts. You must purify your mindset. You must eradicate the mental noise and laser focus on what truly matters. Once your mind becomes unyieldingly structured, your words will naturally align. You will cease speaking in circles. You will cease uttering irrelevancies. You will commence speaking in a manner that truly mobilizes people. And that, precisely, is the resounding sound of leadership. However, this transformation will not occur by chance. It demands relentless practice. It demands unwavering awareness. You must correct yourself in real time. When you detect yourself deploying feeble words, stop and rectify it. When you sense yourself drifting into vague pronouncements, tighten your message with immediate precision. When you find yourself speaking merely out of politeness, interrogate whether your words genuinely reflect your true thoughts. Because if they do not, you are not leading, you are merely filling the void. And comprehend this: strong words are not synonymous with rudeness. They are not arrogant. They are crystal clear. They are unequivocally confident. There is a critical distinction. To be strong with your words does not equate to attacking others. It signifies that you respect them enough to deliver unvarnished honesty. It signifies that you value your message sufficiently to deliver it without distortion. Feeble language may initially feel safe, but it invariably cultivates confusion. Potent language may initially feel uncomfortable, but it forges unshakable trust. People unequivocally trust those who articulate their true intentions. So, how do you begin wielding potent words? You commence by cultivating a heightened awareness of the language you deploy daily in your dialogues, your correspondence, your assemblies, even in your silent self-reflection. Cease concealing yourself behind soft phrases. Replace, "I hope it's okay," with, "Here's what I've decisively determined." Replace, "Sorry to bother you," with, "I possess something vital to share." Replace, "I'm not sure but maybe," with, "Here's my firm conviction on what will succeed." This shift, though seemingly minor, holds cataclysmic impact. Because every single time you elect to use stronger language, you are conditioning your mind to operate from a position of unyielding strength. You are cultivating internal discipline. You are developing the courage to speak with profound impact. Do not attempt to impress with convoluted verbiage. That is not strength. That is mere noise. Strong words are inherently simple. They are direct. They are honest. They emanate from an individual who knows precisely their purpose. They do not chase approval. They do not seek applause. They serve the message. And if your message merits hearing, it demands words that convey it with unassailable power. Speaking with potent words also means unflinchingly upholding your declarations. If you speak it, mean it. If you commit, execute it. If you give your word, safeguard it with your very being. This is what bestows lasting influence upon your speech. People heed those who follow through. They remember those who align their words with decisive action. And that is your ultimate objective: unwavering alignment between your pronouncements and your character. When this alignment is unshakable, your words begin to hold yourself to a higher, more rigorous standard when you speak. Do not speak in a manner that depletes your energy. Do not speak in a way that causes you to shrink. Speak in a manner that powerfully reflects the clarity and unwavering commitment within you. If that strength is not yet fully manifest, then cultivate it. Engage in the profound work on your mindset. Imbue your thoughts with truth, with strength, with unyielding discipline. Then, project that formidable essence into every single word you utter. Your voice is a tool, and like any tool, it can be sharpened to an exquisite edge. The more you sharpen it, the more potent it becomes. And the more you deploy it with precise intention, the more profoundly people will take you seriously. That is the unmistakable sound of leadership, not mere words, but words that mirror formidable thinking, words that demonstrate your unwavering dedication, words that propel people forward. If you enter a space uncertain of how to articulate, unsure of what to declare, hesitant about how to express yourself, people will perceive that trepidation. But if you stride in with a grounded mindset and words that embody that strength, the very atmosphere shifts. The tone transforms. You are not merely speaking, you are unquestionably leading. So, do not squander your words. Do not dilute them. Do not carelessly scatter them. Speak in a manner that carries profound consequence. Speak in a way that truly matters. Because when your words are formidable and aligned with your powerful mindset, people listen. They learn. They grow. And most critically, they remember. That is the ultimate aspiration. Not merely to be heard, but to be indelibly remembered for your convictions and how you powerfully articulated them into existence. Chapter 3. Orchestrating your voice's symphony. You do not speak merely to speak. You speak to guide. You speak to lead. And that demands that your tone, your pacing, your emphasis, every facet of your delivery must perfectly align with your profound message. If you emanate uncertainty, people will falter in their allegiance. If your tone is too abrasive, people will recoil. If you sound indifferent, no one will heed your words. But when you articulate with unwavering strength and steady resolve, people are compelled to pay attention. They feel secure. They feel focused. They lean in, not because you are shouting, but because your voice carries inherent order. It carries absolute clarity. And that makes every discernible difference. Reflect upon the truly great communicators you've encountered. They were not screaming. They were not disorganized. They were crystal clear. They were calm. They were laser-focused. This was not an innate gift. It was a skill meticulously honed through relentless practice. They trained their voice as a formidable instrument, and you can too. But it demands daily, unwavering effort. Every meeting, every communication, every dialogue presents an opportunity to cultivate control, an opportunity to scrutinize your tone, to adjust your pacing, to sharpen your delivery. Start with precision. Articulate more slowly. Embrace strategic pauses. Ruthlessly eliminate filler words. Prioritize deep listening before you speak. Anchor yourself in the present moment. That presence bestows upon you the power to recalibrate your voice in real time. When you are fully present, you intercept yourself before your voice veers into anger, sarcasm, or fear. You remain unyieldingly centered. That is the epicenter of your strength. And never forget, your voice serves not only others, but primarily yourself. The manner in which you speak fundamentally shapes your very thoughts. If your voice is perpetually laced with panic, your thoughts will mirror that chaos. If your voice is fragmented, your thinking will be diminished. But when you articulate with unshakable strength, your mind follows suit. You begin to think with unparalleled clarity. You render superior decisions. Your emotional state stabilizes. That is the profound gift of vocal control. It transcends mere auditory appeal. It is about feeling profoundly grounded. It is about possessing the capacity to lead yourself first, before presuming to lead anyone else. There will be moments when emotion threatens to overwhelm. Pressure will mount. Individuals will test your resolve. Conversations will become uncomfortable. But these are precisely the moments when true leadership manifests. These are the instances when your control becomes paramount. Do not react. Do not erupt. Do not shrink. Hold your ground. Breathe deeply. Slow your pronouncements. Speak with meticulous care. Demonstrate to all that even amidst the inferno, you remain utterly in command. And remember, people may eventually forget your exact words, but they will never forget the emotional imprint you left upon them. If your voice engenders confusion, they will depart uncertain. If your voice brings calm, they will feel anchored. If your voice exudes strength, they will eagerly seek to follow. That is the enduring leadership that persists. That is the communication that forges unshakable trust. Command your voice by first comprehending its nuances. Understand your inherent habits. Acknowledge your vulnerabilities. Address the areas that derail your composure. If you rush, practice deliberate deceleration. If you avoid eye contact, train yourself to hold an unwavering gaze. If your voice falters under duress, practice speaking under stress. Cultivate your skill through relentless repetition, not merely when ease prevails, but especially when hardship looms. This is not about achieving perfection. It is about embodying steadfastness, unyielding strength, and absolute dependability. People seek to follow those who do not crumble under tension, and that commences with the power of your speech. Your voice is a direct reflection of your discipline, a mirror of your emotional maturity, a testament to your ability to remain composed when all others falter. So, train your voice with the precision of a master craftsman. Respect your message enough to deliver it flawlessly. Speak as if your words possess immeasurable value, because they do. But ensure that value is conveyed through your delivery, with unassailable clarity, profound calm, and unwavering confidence. That is how your voice transforms into an instrument of leadership, rather than a trap for impulsive reactions. Do not allow your voice to betray your mindset. Do not let it diminish your presence. Do not permit it to be dictated by your fleeting mood. Lead it, guide it, train it, until it becomes something people instinctively trust the moment they hear it. Control your voice so it never controls you. That is not merely a communication skill. That is a fundamental leadership requirement. Chapter 4. The unyielding power of intent. The majority speak without genuine reason. They articulate merely to fill voids. They speak to avert discomfort. They speak because silence ignites their apprehension. But true leaders utterly reject this casual approach. Leaders speak with profound intent. They utter words only when there is something substantive to convey. They do not speak simply to generate noise. They do not speak merely to be perceived or heard. Every single word possesses unwavering purpose. Every sentence is precisely directed. Every conversation leads to a definitive destination. And that is precisely why people attentively listen to them. Because when a leader speaks, they are never squandering anyone's invaluable time. When you speak without intent, your words are quickly forgotten. People may hear you, but they will fail to remember you. This is because there was no inherent weight behind your pronouncements. But when you articulate with profound meaning, even a single sentence can fundamentally shift an individual's perspective. Even one incisive question can unveil new pathways. That is the critical distinction between mere talking and true leading. Talking is ubiquitous. Speaking with purpose is exceptionally rare. If you aspire to distinguish yourself, if you desire to compel others to follow, you must master the discipline of speaking only when there is something genuinely valuable to impart. This does not imply perpetual silence. It signifies that you articulate with absolute clarity. You speak when your voice introduces structure, not chaotic clutter. You speak to offer decisive direction, not fleeting distraction. In a world inundated with ceaseless noise, your paramount duty as a leader is to be the one who recenters individuals on what truly matters. This is not achieved through endless monologue. It is forged when you meticulously select your words, when you preserve silence until the opportune moment for utterance, and when you finally speak, your message carries immeasurable weight. Speaking with intent begins with profound listening. If you are not listening, you are merely guessing. You are speaking based on assumptions, and that is perilous. It culminates in wasted dialogues. It breeds confusion. But when you commit to listening intently before speaking, you truly comprehend the underlying reality. You discern where the voids exist, and you then deploy your words to fill those voids with solutions, not with noise. A true leader does not fear silence, they profoundly respect it. Silence is not an absence, it is inherently useful. It grants individuals the space for critical thought. It provides you the time to grasp deeper insights. It slows down the rapid pace of interaction, allowing you to respond with deliberation instead of reacting impulsively. Individuals who fear silence often interrupt others. They speak over nascent ideas. They reiterate superfluous points. But a leader feels no compulsion to fill every single second. They allow moments to breathe, and when they finally speak, everyone instinctively knows it is worth hearing. There is unparalleled power in patience. When you wait before speaking, you gain control. You gain unassailable clarity. You become meticulously selective with your words. You cease impulsively blurting out pronouncements you will later regret. And you transform into an individual others respect, not solely for your intellect, but for your impeccable timing. Because timing is critical. Articulating the right message at the wrong moment can still sabotage its impact. But when you speak with acute awareness, when you await the opportune moment, your words strike with amplified force. Leaders wield silence as a strategic instrument. They allow it to cultivate necessary tension. They use it to calm a tumultuous environment. They employ it to project unwavering strength. And they never succumb to panic when quiet descends, for they comprehend that silence is not the adversary. Pointless chatter is. You must rigorously train yourself to resist the compulsion to fill silence. This habit will not dissipate on its own. You must actively cultivate it. In meetings, pause before you speak. In personal interactions, listen more deeply than you respond. When you are uncertain of what to articulate, remain quiet until the message crystallizes in your mind. There is no urgency. You are not compelled to compete for attention. You are compelled to deliver something profoundly valuable. People will endeavor to draw you into superficial conversations. They will saturate the room with empty noise. But you are not obligated to mirror that energy. You can deliberately slow the pace. You can introduce profound depth. You can recalibrate the very tone of the interaction. And you achieve this by being unwaveringly intentional before you speak. Before uttering a word, ask yourself, why am I speaking this? What is its explicit purpose? What definitive outcome am I pursuing? If you cannot articulate a clear answer, then refrain from speaking. Wait until your message is fully prepared. Wait until you are certain that your words are truly essential. Intentional speech also forges unshakable trust. When people recognize that you do not speak merely for the sake of it, they listen with amplified attentiveness. They know you are not squandering their time. They know you are not attempting to impress. You are speaking because it holds profound significance. That kind of unwavering consistency builds your reputation. It instills confidence in people to follow you, for they know you are thoughtful. They know your words possess inherent weight. Eradicate phrases that diminish your intent. Banish language that sounds uncertain. Do not utter, I might, I guess, or I was just thinking. These words drain your power. They breed confusion. Speak directly. Declare your true meaning. Be unequivocally clear, even when it's uncomfortable, especially when it's uncomfortable. Because that is the unmistakable mark of leadership, clarity in moments of tension. Speaking with intent also means discerning when to remain silent. Sometimes, the most potent action is to simply listen. Allow someone else to speak. Permit them to conclude. Let them reveal the underlying essence of their message. If you interrupt prematurely, you will miss what truly matters. But if you withhold your response, you will hear the authentic message. And that is where influence truly begins, not in speaking first, but in achieving profound understanding. When you train yourself to speak with intention, your entire presence undergoes a transformation. You enter rooms with unflappable calm. You speak without haste. You respond with precise purpose. And people invariably respond to that. They begin to look to you for direction. They begin to trust your counsel, not because you are perpetually speaking, but because when you do, it is invariably valuable. Every conversation is an opportunity for practice. Do not squander it. Do not fall into the trap of speaking merely to fill space. Do not allow pressure to compel you into uttering words you do not truly mean. Uphold your standard. Be the one who prioritizes quality over quantity. Be the one who uses fewer words but delivers profound meaning. The strength of your message is not measured by its length, but by its unassailable clarity. You can speak for 20 minutes and convey nothing, or you can speak for 2 minutes and transform an entire room. It all hinges on your unwavering intent. So, do not rush. Do not react. Choose your moment. Choose your words. Allow silence to sharpen your message. Let intent guide your every utterance. You do not need to flaunt your intelligence through endless explanations. You do not need to assert your worth by dominating dialogues. Your true strength manifests when your words align perfectly with your purpose, when your speech reflects thoughtful deliberation, not impulsive reaction, when your voice carries unmistakable direction, not chaotic distraction. That is the resounding sound of authentic leadership. So, speak with unyielding intent. Speak when you possess something undeniably worth saying. Let silence speak when it is sufficient. Do not fear it. Do not resist it. Wield it as a tool. Let it fortify your words. Let it bestow greater weight upon your message. Because when you speak with intent, people pause and listen, not because you are louder, but because you are authentic. Because you are grounded. Because you lead with unwavering purpose. And in a world saturated with empty noise, that is what renders your voice unforgettable. Chapter 5. Fortifying your ground when others test you. The very instant you resolve to ascend, people will inevitably resist. Not everyone will applaud your evolution. Not everyone will celebrate your progress. Some will challenge you with deliberate intent, seeking to ascertain the depth of your conviction. They will interrogate your decisions. They will test the very limits of your patience. They will utter pronouncements designed to disorient you. And this is precisely where true leadership is forged, not amidst effortless ease, but when you are under duress and still steadfastly hold your ground. Holding your space means remaining utterly solid when pressure mounts. It signifies an unyielding refusal to shrink when others raise their voices. It means remaining deeply rooted in your identity, even when others endeavor to undermine your confidence. You cannot dictate how others speak to you. You cannot control their tone, their perspectives, or their demeanor. But you unequivocally control your own manifestation. You control your bearing. You control your vocal response. You command your energy. And that is where power is truly constructed, not through dominating others, but through absolute self-mastery. When someone attempts to rattle your composure and you remain unflappably calm, that is strength. When someone endeavors to corner you and you do not flinch, that is unassailable presence. You are not required to mirror their chaos. You are required to transcend it, not with arrogance, not with hubris, but with unwavering discipline. People will test your boundaries, particularly when they perceive you upholding a higher standard. Some will resent your refusal to engage in gossip. Others may feel threatened by your cessation of tolerating mediocrity. Some will endeavor to provoke your composure simply to ascertain its authenticity. And if you fail to train yourself to respond from a place of inherent stability, you will react from raw emotion. You will utter unplanned words. You will engage in actions that betray your true essence. And just like that, the moment will enslave you instead of you mastering the moment. Leadership is not boisterous. It is not reactive. It is not characterized by emotional outbursts. It is about remaining profoundly present when others exert pressure. It is about choosing stillness when all around you is in rapid motion. It is about articulating with clarity when people anticipate you to lose control. You do not conquer these moments by overpowering others. You conquer them by mastering yourself. That is how you fortify your space. You know precisely who you are, and you unwavering refuse to permit anyone to drag you back into old habits. When tension escalates, most individuals surrender their attention to it. They lean into the noise. They argue relentlessly to validate their positions. They speak defensively. But when you are anchored in your fundamental values, you need not prove anything. You need not explain yourself to every detractor. You need not engage in every skirmish. Some situations simply do not warrant your energy. Some individuals do not deserve your response. And discerning this crucial difference is what sustains your strength. Holding your space also entails an absolute refusal to be swayed from your standards. If you believe in something, do not dilute it merely because someone challenges it. If you have committed to a discipline, do not compromise because someone else deems it extreme. You are not present to ensure everyone's comfort. You are here to lead yourself with unyielding strength and absolute clarity. If your choices create discomfort for others, that is not your burden. Your responsibility is to remain steadfastly committed to what is unequivocally right for you. Occasionally, people will test you with silence. They will ignore you to see if you chase their validation. They will withdraw support to see if you crumble without it. But this is precisely where you must double down on your inherent purpose. You do not pursue individuals to maintain your strength. You stand tall and allow your character to resonate more powerfully than any argument. True confidence is not broadcast through your voice. It is demonstrated through your decisive actions when no one supports you. It is about remaining calm when support wanes. It is about choosing your path even when others retreat. You do not secure your space by fighting for it. You secure it by embodying it. You cultivate a presence that requires no defense. You act in a manner that demands no explanation. You speak with a tone that compels people to pause, not out of fear, but out of profound respect. And that is cultivated only through daily, unwavering practice. You do not await the arrival of pressure. You develop the muscle before it emerges. You train your emotions. You sharpen your thoughts. You analyze your patterns. You learn to breathe deeply when tension escalates. You practice active listening when someone disagrees. You teach yourself not to react impulsively when someone challenges your composure. That relentless training becomes your formidable strength. Holding your space does not equate to passivity. It signifies profound intentionality. It means you move with unwavering focus, not brute force. You respond from a place of wisdom, not raw emotion. You know precisely when to speak and when to remain silent. You know when to hold firm and when to gracefully disengage. You are not intimidated by disagreement. You are not shaken by opposition. You trust yourself implicitly to remain deeply rooted, irrespective of the energy others project into the room. When you fully comprehend your values and embody them daily, no one can undermine them with a few words. When you have invested the effort to cultivate discipline, others' opinions cannot dislodge your foundation. That is the essence of holding your space. It means standing on something unshakable. It means protecting your inner peace. It means maintaining unwavering consistency even when others attempt to derail your course. People will respect you profoundly when they witness your unwavering stance. They might test you once, but upon realizing you are not swayed by trivialities, they will reconsider their next move. That respect is not demanded, it is earned. It is earned through unyielding consistency, inherent strength, profound calm, and the capacity to lead yourself when others expect you to crumble. You can discern a great deal about an individual by their response under pressure. Do they collapse? Do they lash out? Do they assign blame? Or do they remain steady? Do they breathe? Do they respond from unassailable clarity? Leadership is unveiled in those moments, not when circumstances are easy, but when they are uncomfortable. That is when your true presence manifests. And here is the truth. Not everyone will comprehend your strength. Some will deem it cold. Others will label you overly serious. But do not diminish your standard to accommodate their comfort. The world does not require more individuals who react impulsively to everything. It requires more individuals who can stand steadfast amidst chaos, who can articulate with clarity amidst noise, who can lead with truth when others are engaging in manipulation. So, do not fear being tested. It is an integral part of growth. It is a sign of your ascent. The higher you climb, the greater the resistance you will encounter. But that is not a problem. That is irrefutable proof you are on the correct path. Just remember, when that pressure manifests, you do not need to raise your voice. You do not need to argue back. You simply need to stand firm, calm, focused, clear. That is how you lead. That is how you influence. That is how you build a presence that speaks before you utter a single word. Hold your space, not merely once, but every single time someone attempts to test it. Make it a foundational habit. Make it who you are. Do not collapse for fleeting comfort. Do not shift your ground for temporary approval. Remain planted. Remain solid. And when people reflect, they will not merely remember what you said, they will remember how you remained unyielding when it mattered most. Chapter 6. Unveiling Truth Through Direct Questions. The very nature of your questions betrays the depth of your commitment to truth. If you pose vague inquiries, you will receive vague responses. If you ask superficial questions, you will be met with superficial answers. But when you deploy direct questions, you force open the door to absolute clarity. You bypass trivial surface chatter and penetrate the core of the true issue. And that is the unyielding demand of leadership: authentic dialogues, honest introspection, progress built upon unassailable truth, not mere assumption. Most individuals shy away from direct questions, paralyzed by the apprehension of what might surface. They recoil from discomfort. They resist confronting inconvenient facts. But leaders do not flee from truth. They relentlessly pursue it. And they wield their words as instruments to uncover it. When you question directly, you demonstrate an unflinching fearlessness of reality. You are not intimidated by facts. You are not daunted by change. That mindset compels everyone around you to elevate their performance. It pushes individuals to abandon the refuge of soft answers and to embrace unvarnished authenticity with themselves. That is how growth truly occurs, not by circumnavigating the issue, but by striking directly at its heart. And the key to this mastery lies in learning to ask with purpose. Asking directly does not imply rudeness. It does not equate to attacking. It means being crystal clear, profoundly honest, and unyieldingly committed to uncovering the precise reality. It means choosing the shortest path to truth, instead of aimlessly wandering, hoping someone else will stumble upon it. Most conversations are saturated with noise. Words are flung about, yet nothing substantive is articulated. Direct questions immediately dispel this ambiguity. They elevate the dialogue to a deeper stratum. They propel things forward. They challenge the other person to engage their intellect, to respond with candor, to be authentic. If you aspire to lead, you must master this indispensable skill. Do not ask what merely sounds polite. Ask what catalyzes the situation's genuine progression. Do not ask what preserves comfort. Ask what illuminates clarity. The longer you procrastinate in reaching the core issue, the more confusion proliferates. But when you question directly, things accelerate. You reach the truth with greater speed. You dissipate tension because people understand precisely where you stand. Practice being audaciously bold with your inquiries. When something feels amiss, declare it. When someone fails to follow through, demand an explanation. When results are lacking, do not tiptoe. Insist upon the reason. Avoiding these questions does not render you benevolent. It renders you unclear. And unclear leaders confuse their teams. They confuse their families. They confuse themselves. But direct questions bring everything into sharp focus. The power of a question resides in its inherent simplicity. You do not need to embellish it. You do not need to soften its impact. Simply be respectful and clear. Questions like, "What is truly happening?" or "What specifically is impeding your progress right now?" or "What precise resources do you require to advance?" These questions force open the door to honesty. And once that door is ajar, everything begins to move. But you must be the one to unbolt it. You must lead the charge. Some individuals will not respond immediately. That is acceptable. Permit them to sit with the question. Let the silence perform its indispensable work. Do not rush to fill it. Allow the question to breathe. Because often, the silence that succeeds a direct question is precisely where the truth begins to materialize. It compels individuals to pause and engage in genuine thought. It extracts them from autopilot. And in that crucial pause, something transforms. Something shifts. That is leadership, not merely knowing what to inquire, but knowing when to hold the space for the unfolding answer. The habit of asking directly also fortifies your confidence. It demonstrates that you trust yourself to navigate whatever emerges. You are not paralyzed by the fear of rejection or resistance. You are not intimidated by tension. You are here for unwavering progress, and that mindset is exceedingly rare. Most individuals settle for easy questions because they crave easy conversations. But easy conversations do not foster growth. They keep people trapped. They safeguard comfort, but they destroy forward momentum. If you desire genuine answers, you must be willing to pose uncomfortable questions. You must be comfortable with silence, with initial confusion, with raw honesty. You must understand that even if the initial response lacks clarity, the question itself was invaluable. Because the more you question directly, the more people learn to respond directly. And that becomes the prevailing culture, the unyielding standard. Leadership also mandates posing direct questions to yourself. Do not merely interrogate others. Interrogate your own actions. Ask, am I setting the definitive example? Did I manifest fully today? Am I choosing convenient excuses over diligent effort? These are not facile questions, but they sculpt character. They prevent you from drifting aimlessly. They bring you back to what truly matters. If you cannot pose difficult questions to yourself, you cannot expect to guide others through theirs. A direct question is a mirror. It reflects reality. It exposes hidden truths. It eliminates conjecture. And the more you deploy it, the more instinctive it becomes. You do not hesitate. You do not second-guess. You question with unwavering purpose. You question with absolute clarity. And people respond to that because it is rare. Most individuals are surrounded by conversations brimming with superficiality. So when you speak plainly, it stands out. This skill transcends business or leadership. It is fundamental to life itself. If you desire richer relationships, pose better questions. If you seek greater clarity in your decisions, cease circumnavigating the issue. Ask what you truly need to know, and ask it early, before time is squandered, before energy is dissipated, before damage is inflicted. Most conflict could be averted if someone possesses the courage to ask the right question at the right time. You must remember, your question is the gateway. The quality of the response hinges on how effectively you unveil that gateway. If it is too constrained, the answer remains concealed. If it is too vague, the truth slips away. But when it is clear, focused, and respectful, people will traverse it with honesty, and that honesty transforms everything. You do not need to ask 10 questions to secure one answer. Ask the singular, correct one directly, and allow it to perform its work. Do not over-explain it. Do not justify it. Simply ask it, and listen. Let the question bear the burden. Let the silence facilitate the revelation. Trust that clarity is profoundly superior to comfort. Asking directly also safeguards your time. You do not waste days awaiting someone to reach their point. You go there yourself. You do not waste hours pondering another's meaning. You ask them directly. That brand of leadership conserves time, energy, and trust. It demonstrates to people that you care enough to gain clarity, that you are not playing games, that you are committed to improvement. So, question with strength. Question with respect. But do not hold back. Be the one who extracts truth from others. Be the one who is unafraid to confront it. Be the individual who poses the question no one else dares to ask. That is how you lead. That is how you influence. That is how you forge change. Ask direct questions that lead to real answers. Do it consistently. Do it with courage. And observe how rapidly everything around you begins to transform. Because the moment you cease speaking in circles is the moment people truly begin to listen. Chapter 7. The unyielding backbone of your voice. A pivotal moment arises when you must unequivocally decide who you are. When you speak, will you declare what is true, or what merely garner others' approval? Will you articulate what demands to be said, or will you safeguard your superficial image? If your words are perpetually sculpted by the desire to appease, you will forfeit your very identity. You will drift from your core values. You will dissolve into the anonymity of the crowd. But if you aspire to command as a leader, you must speak with an unyielding backbone, not with arrogance, not with force, but with a strength that refuses to bend when disagreement arises. Far too many remain silent about what truly matters, paralyzed by the fear of causing displeasure. They erroneously believe silence is simpler than conflict. They suppress their convictions, hoping to preserve a fragile peace. But a peace born of concealment is not genuine peace. It is a treacherous snare. Sooner or later, it will devour your integrity. You begin to utter untruths. You agree when profound questioning is required. You evade difficult conversations that could catalyze growth. And you wonder why your own voice feels devoid of conviction. It is because you have transformed your speech into a performance. You are speaking to be accepted, not to lead. Leadership does not equate to constant popularity. It means earning profound respect for your unvarnished truth. It means articulating the uncomfortable reality when others remain muted. It means drawing definitive lines, even when they cause discomfort. And you can achieve this with unwavering respect. You can achieve it without aggression. You can speak with unyielding firmness without being cold. But you must speak. You must choose courage over mere comfort. Speaking with backbone signifies that your words mirror your core values, not merely your fleeting emotions. You do not alter your message to avert rejection. You do not dilute your standards simply to retain approval. You do not speak to blend in. You speak to stand tall. This does not mean you are confrontational. It means you are unequivocally clear. And clarity is exceptionally rare. Most individuals remain vague, paralyzed by the fear of judgment. They articulate in a manner that protects their superficial image, not the unassailable truth. But when you have committed to cultivating your principles, you need not conceal yourself behind soft phrases. You know what you believe, and that conviction manifests in every single word you utter. Sometimes, speaking with backbone will exact a cost. Some individuals will withdraw. Some will dislike your declarations. But that is acceptable. If your objective is to lead, not to entertain, you will comprehend that universal agreement is not required. Universal allegiance is not necessary. What truly matters is that your words align perfectly with your standards. What truly matters is that you reflect upon the conversation and know you were honest, that you did not falter under pressure, that you did not trade your truth for fleeting approval. When you speak merely to be liked, you are ceding your inherent power. You are implicitly declaring, your opinion of me supersedes my own certainty of what is right. And that mindset leads to feeble communication. You begin to avoid crucial topics. You begin to suppress questions that could forge clarity. You begin to utter yes when your conviction is no. And every single time you do this, you weaken your voice. You lose influence. You become forgettable not due to a lack of intellect or care, but because you chose safety over formidable strength. To speak with backbone, you must cease apologizing for possessing unwavering standards. You must stop concealing yourself behind polite phrases when a direct address is imperative. You must cease attempting to soften every truth so it doesn't cause discomfort. Truth is not designed to provide universal comfort. It is designed to bring things into the light. And once matters are illuminated, they can be transformed. But that only occurs when someone is willing to lead the charge. When someone is willing to articulate with clarity, even if it shakes the foundations of the room. You do not develop this skill overnight. You cultivate it through relentless repetition. Every instance you elect to articulate your convictions, even when challenging, you grow stronger. Every time you speak with unadulterated honesty instead of hiding behind superficial chatter, your voice becomes clearer. Every time you uphold a boundary instead of succumbing to pressure, your presence becomes more formidable. This is how you evolve into someone others respect, not by shouting, not by dominating, but by standing unyielding when others falter. You must also accept that not every environment will embrace your presence. That is not a flaw. That is reality. Your duty is not to maintain universal happiness. Your duty is to inject clarity, to offer profound perspective, to propel people forward. And that caliber of leadership invariably generates resistance. People will challenge you. Some will actively resist. But if your voice is founded on truth, not emotion, it will endure. It will carry through the pressure, and over time, people will begin to trust it not because you told them what they desired to hear, but because you always conveyed what was real. When you speak with backbone, your tone undergoes a profound transformation. You no longer sound uncertain. You no longer speak with hesitation. You speak with unshakable conviction, not mere volume, but conviction. There is a critical distinction. You are not louder. You are sharper, more focused, more deliberate. Every word feels meticulously measured. And that tone compels people to take notice. It establishes a distinct atmosphere. People listen with heightened attentiveness. They lean in because they sense that your words are not a performance. They emanate from profound substance. You must first lead yourself. That means achieving absolute clarity on your convictions before you articulate them. It means scrutinizing your motives before you utter a single word. Are you speaking to protect your image, or are you speaking because something demands to be said? Are you evading the truth to preserve ease, or are you leaning into discomfort to forge progress? These are the questions that sculpt your essence. Concluding chapter: The Leader's Unveiling. You have journeyed through the crucible of words, mastering the silent power of presence, the surgical precision of questioning, and the unyielding fortitude of truth. This is not merely an endpoint, but a commencement. You are no longer a voice merely speaking into the void. You are a force articulating conviction. The transformation is complete. Your voice, once perhaps a mere instrument of communication, is now a finely honed weapon of influence. You have learned to speak with unassailable clarity, to wield words imbued with potent energy, to command with a presence that resonates profoundly even in stillness. You have disciplined your delivery, cultivated purpose in every utterance, fortified your ground against all challenges, extracted truth with direct inquiry, and spoken with the unshakable backbone of your deepest principles. This is the essence of true leadership embodied in communication. It is the fusion of thought, intention, and delivery. Your voice is now a declaration, a standard-bearer that compels allegiance. Let your every word forge trust, elevate the discourse, and ignite action. Do not shrink. Do not hesitate. Step forward now and command. For in a world clamoring for direction, your calibrated voice, your deliberate words, and your unyielding presence will not merely be heard, they will be followed. This is your time. This is your voice. This is your undeniable leadership. Go forth and lead with the power of your words.